Game number 4 of the night. It's the first game on World's Edge. And let's see how the Gibraltar goes. Let's see how the Rampart goes. And also, hoping to see a little bit of a change up, a little bit of a shake up with the finishes as far as the circles are concerned.
Well, I mean, look, as far as, yeah, because if we're talking about team comps there, just quickly, Elfish, it's actually quite homogenous beyond that, right? So we've got, I don't think we have any Newcastles here on World's Edge. There is an absolute boatload. Actually, no, look, let's stop this out. We do have a contest here going down in Thermal Station.
Yeah, and that is maybe not exactly what you want if you do good play, because Tony is down in that thick of things. He's won it! Oh dear. I mean, it's just the play around the shields, isn't it? And Good Riddance does get eliminated. You hate to be the one player left in that 1v1, but when you win it, it feels so good.
Yeah, it sure does. So Dugu play, we had them down as going Skyhook East. So if I just jump back in game, no one is in Skyhook East. So they have contested Thermal Station, and they've won. So I guess now the question is, for Good Riddance, who have just been having an absolute stinker of a day, unfortunately, do they take that contest again, or do they just move up and take Skyhook East, which is, you know, it's a very decent POI. There's nothing to be, I think, ashamed about to move up there. It's just, you know, do you really want to throw away any hard work you've done on sort of, you know, nutting out your rotations and all that other kind of macro play that you know from the spot that you have practiced from?
Guess that's going to be a conversation that they've got a lot of time to have, because they're going to have to wait for the rest of this game to play out before they even have to do anything about it. But looking at the map here, we once again are going to be going down toward the southeast. Maybe not to the same extent that we saw in one of the games, which was like a big Maud kind of finish, but back over toward Lava Siphon. You remember that one where we were talking about they were united quite a lot in that valley. We're looking at one of those finishes again. So, and those circles just really heading to the same areas on the map all day long.
Yeah.
Welcome, by the way. I just want to touch on.
Of course.
We were sort of talking about him earlier on with the L Star, and he's got it again. So it's not like he's just getting it by happenstance. He is choosing to take this weapon. It's the third time I've seen with him having it today. So there must be something that he likes about it.
Right, the free agents player. That is an interesting option. I just want to see what his other... No, the other one's an EVA 8. I was wondering if it's, you know, sometimes you might, you know, you'll pick up something in the hopes you get like a turbocharge or something like that, pair it with a Volt. But one of the hardest things about playing that gun at the moment, honestly, is just finding the energy ammo, because not many people are picking up energy weapons. And as we say that, he's actually looking to get into a fight. Let's see how this L-Star goes.
Yeah, it did get dropped down to no armor, and almost swapped onto blue armor off purples, and has basically just booked it. So, Chicken Sandwich were the benefactors, I suppose, of that engagement. It just sort of forced Onic Esports off. So there was a very brief little engagement there, but doesn't look like really anything's going to come from it.
Yeah, I'm feeling a North Siphon circle here, if I'm being honest with you, Elfish.
Yeah, I would say so.
Maybe a small chance for Geyser, but yeah, I think most of the teams don't think that. They're certainly moving towards that, and Ath sort of taking up position there. MD White in one of the smaller little buildings that we're seeing just to the north there. Just got a hint of that. T4 now moving into another one, so there's one left. And then, of course, you've got the chokes around Geyser, which always seem to be exciting places to keep your eye on. And Golden Sage trying to be the, you know, trying to force people out in that spot. You can see Dreamfire doing the same right next door.
Yeah, I mean, there's still one or two teams that have to come down from Fragment, and we're kind of watching them right now. GQ and Adal Wolves are the two. Great shots in there, and Su 2-Tap's actually on a really big flank right here, so I think the Wolves might be under a little bit of pressure, and not something that they're going to like dealing with either, because they have got the low ground. More shots coming through from Su 2-Tap. The Missile Swarm is tossed out as well. That has connected, and even though there is an alternator pylon right here, you've only got one member basically in a 1-on-3 there. Never mind, there is a second to join them, but it just looks like GQ have pretty much got full control of this engagement. Maybe a little bit of an overreach there from Su2Tap. Could make the argument that maybe all three should have committed off the top for GQ. I felt like that was their fight to lose, but they did lose it.
Wow, they're not quite out yet, but if they let Drauga get this med kit off, then I'm going to agree with you, because you're going to have Sia and and the Valkyrie, of course. They're actually going for the res now. I mean, surely Mew is hearing this, and it looks like he's actually opting to get out. He's just going to leave Big Boss behind. Doesn't believe in himself for the 1v2, which, you know, you can't blame someone for. It's probably the, you know, the statistically correct play to make. And he's trying to grab out, but Drauga, now with the full team left back up and running, is going to finish them off completely. So, as you say, a very shocking turnaround in that fight.
That's got to be a real tilter for GQ, because they have the high ground, they have the initial shots, they've cracked a couple of their ADL Wolves members. They get the first knock as well, and yet they lose the fight. And I think we've all sort of been there, where you're taking a fight and you think you're just going to win it, and then it somehow turns around and you're like, how did we even just lose that? I think that's the kind of situation that GQ sort of found themselves. Disappointing one for them.
If you're in an ALGS lobby, you know, you cannot afford to take your eyes off the opponent, right? Like, you cannot afford to take your foot off the pedal there. There are always going to be players who can make plays and turn things around like that. So, yeah, definitely got to stay locked in. I know, as we said, it's a long day for some of these players who are playing, you know, all 6 games, and I think GQ is one of those. Yeah, maybe just a little bit of fatigue coming through there for the squad.
Drauga really popped off in that fight, 3 kills, and ADL will get the benefit from it. But enough about that, because they will still have to make a big rotation down from the northern side of the map, and this is actually kind of where they're going to have to end up rotating past. You've got Ant in that couple of buildings toward the left-hand side, Golden Sage, who just fired out their missile swarm from the building in the middle, and Af over toward the right side of the screen as well. So 3 teams locking down buildings. Not an easy area of the map to get through. It's a bit of a gauntlet run coming out of that coach.
Okay, so Buriram have split the middle again. Just while we're having some shots over here, I don't think anything's really going to come of this. This is Golden Sage just poking away at Ant Esports. Buriram are playing in a very similar position to the Siphon circle we saw last time, Elfish. And this time I think it could even possibly work better for them. They're very much splitting the middle. If it does shift south, which, as you can see, there's sort of a chance, but certainly no one is occupying that ground because there's not really much there to do to keep you safe. But then if it goes north, I think they're probably going to be okay as well. So, look, they're kind of making this spot their own, and I really like that from Buriram.
ADL Wolves are going to be just looking for the info at Overlook as to where this next zone is going to go, and what it's going to tell them is probably not what they want to know, but it is, I would say, likely what they expect. Sort of called that this would be a bit of a North Siphon finish, and you look to be pretty on the money so far with the way that ring is pulling. At the very least, it's going to be somewhere around Siphon. It's not going up to Geyser. It's not pulling hard north. It's not going out toward Big Mortar or anything silly like that. It is basically just going where you would expect it to, and that generally tends to be a bit of an issue for the teams rotating in late. You'd normally like to see range pulls if you're a team coming in late. That'll sometimes give you a bit of a better opportunity to get in to a good position. But now everyone's already set themselves up. The real estate is already taken. So where do you go?
Yeah, that's a big question. Ant and Golden Sage certainly going to have to try and work that out for themselves, especially when you got to cross the ditch. That at that point, it's like you really have to be taking the Valk ult. You kind of can't run around there. I'm not sure that's really possible. Ooh, Boogie Boarders actually, they had it down, but it looks like Raki is okay. They're going to get him back up. Alright, kind of chill for the moment. EXO, once again. Teams, obviously, they've got their spots in Siphon, right? I mean, EXO love playing from this middle building, and now they're fighting for it with Onyx.
Yeah, 3 sets of blues at this stage of the game. Might not be exactly what you'd want if you're taking a fight, but you got to make do with what you've got. On the other side of the field, it is 1 set of purple and 2 blues, so not that much better for Onyx in this engagement. I've got to be honest, I mean, they are fighting for control, but I'm not sure they're really fighting for control, you know what I mean? I think they're kind of just feeling each other out. If they get a knock, maybe they take that fight, but it doesn't really look like either team actually wants to commit to it. And so Onyx are once again going to be sent packing back into the big sort of building rather than actually out on top of the lava proper.
Yeah, I wouldn't if I were them. I think that's a good sort of situation. I mean, Onyx have gone back into the command center anyway. Exo claim the middle for themselves. And see there our champions from the last game.
I think these are the kill leaders.
Is it? Yep, could be.
It would be the kill leaders, because Draga is the kill leader currently with 3 kills, which is, you know, nothing to really write home about, but considering there's only been 6 kills in this match so far. And they're actually making their rotation down as well through the Geyser, which is probably the right choice. 20th Guaranteed was locking down the other choke point. And as we mentioned previously, there was a lot of teams kind of at the bottom end of that choke point too. Geyser looks a little bit more open. Granted, it's not as straight of a pathway into the zone.
Okay.
This is a tough one to play, isn't it?
It's the day to run it back, isn't it? Mill and Mill, Siphon and Siphon, Buriram, teams who played one zone well. You know, it seems pretty likely they're going to play the next one pretty well, considering they're taking up these similar spots. So it's all up to Buriram to do the same thing. I guess if we're... It was Buriram last time, right? No, I'm thinking of Dewa. I'm getting them mixed up. My bad. Okay, look, well, Buriram are playing the same spot as Dewa were. That said, they've got a crypto on their team, so they actually get this info because there is the beacon on top of that building where Exo are. So they've just popped the drone over there and found out that they're more than happy to stay in here because half the next zone is over lava. They know it's not going to finish on that side of it. So really, teams are going to have to come to them.
Yeah, that's a very busy looking circle, isn't it? Still 18 teams alive, 54 players. 20th Guaranteed. One of those teams that had to move down from the northern side of the map, and they have popped the Valkyrie ultimate. You probably heard that one on the live feed. So we might see them pop up in the kill feed in just a second as they try to land in the center of the zone. Dreamfire's going to have to do something similar soon. And the later you move, I feel like less opportunity you're really going to have to land somewhere safe. So Dreamfire really are playing with fire. Maybe they're going to walk it in on foot. Might not be the worst of decisions. Roy is already having a bit of a peek. He's really scouting that area of the map out to see whether or not there is anywhere safe that they can just walk through.
Yeah, I think there's actually some decent spots for them to play in front, especially with no one sort of to their left and their right as they look around. PK is still sort of peeking in from the bottom, maybe from more the big Maud side. And yeah, look, T4 still set up there. Though they actually, I think they initially had one of those, the smaller buildings, right? And they've actually moved down towards the bottom of the North Siphon building. So good for them. That definitely works out as far as how this zone is shifted. But of course, they would have known that because they've got the crypto.
Well, Joker doesn't have any shields left. So he's going to just try to take refuge in a bin. That will not be his grave. DNZ, though, they don't look like they're having a good time in this fight. SA having already dropped Gibraltar down. I repeat, Gibraltar down, the only one we have in the lobby. And you'd normally want to have that Gibraltar up so you can get that res nice and easy, but does not look like that's going to end up being the case. It is a trade. Tony Bay went down at the hands of Boland. Joker and Boland holding strong for the moment. Lots are coming across.
Yeah, Dugu play actually they're under fire from Boogie Borders as well. So I dare say both of these teams are going to struggle to get out of this one alive. It's Dugu play who go down first, but if DNZ go down next, they will also be out with 0 placement points here in game 4. And with Gopgaps looking at one side, he's got a scout trained on them. Boogie Board is actually more worried about the loot right now, it seems, though. Okay, we do have a couple of shots with Mraki with the 30-30, but they're not too interested in those kills, which I'm actually quite surprised about.
Yeah, I felt like that very much was an opportunity for them to push their way in, but I guess they're looking at this next zone and thinking, if we do push down and someone moves across to take our position, it's going to be very difficult to push back up. So maybe the long con rather than the instant gratification that they would get from getting those couple of kills.
Yeah, it's
And
a
to be
fantastic
fair, I
point.
mean, DNZ also do have to push into them, so no rush.
Yeah, and they're one of the only people who do have that good spot in the zone right now. You can see they're kind of holding DNZ out at the bottom there. So with them and Buriram on the right side of this zone, they're actually looking pretty good. And there's so many teams. 30 seconds left that are going to have to fly into this next zone. I'm going to say like 8 to 10 teams are just going to be booking it into this next zone with pretty much a wing and a prayer.
Yep, Joker has just been knocked as well by an arc star from Raki, finished off as well. So that's where you're going to see Boogie Boarders now pulling the trigger. They know it's a 3-on-1. They know they're going to better clean that one up in the blink of an eye. So they just swamp down, finish off the NZ, and they're not going to lose control of their position. Now, though, 6 seconds left for that ring to start pulling in. Everyone up north, as you say, going to have to get that Skyward Dive prep ready to go. The unfortunate reality about this zone, though, is that, well, a good third of it is pretty much lava, so unplayable, that's for sure. And Exo and Onyx, well, we saw this kicking off a little bit earlier. It's going to kick off once again. Just trying to keep the doors locked as Killer Pause. He's forced Onyx away once again. Dixie dropping. Looks like the fight is going well for Exo, but Onyx, I mean, they're really getting pushed right now, so maybe Exo are a little bit more focused on the rotation they need to make as well.
They don't have to force it. The building is in the next zone, so if they want to just chill here, they can. But, I mean, look, they've got Bigsy down. Why not go in for the kill, confirm that at least, grab that extra kill point. Is that going to get cancelled? Yes, it does. Sia makes sure the res doesn't happen, and as they get the info that they're trying to res, they'll just push onto it, and look at that, in a matter of seconds, Exo have eliminated them from the lobby. They'll get Killer Pose back up, and meanwhile, Buriram over here trying to hold out against PK. Have they done so? It's a one trade for one right now.
Oh, PK, they have a lot of enemies around them, and they're trying to carve out some space in the zone. It's difficult going, that's for sure. Crusader has been knocked. Hey, obviously does not have himself any shields, and he'll go down pretty quickly indeed. Boogie, last one alive, trying to get some reses.
Oh, Chicken Sandwich. Looks like they're not long through this lobby either. Player K with the tiniest bit of health trying to hold on to this. Are they getting shots at the moment? It doesn't look like it. So Player K, he gets the shields off. And now he's actually going to go for the res. Man, this would be one hell of a reset if Chicken Sandwich can pull this off. They've got 30 seconds. They all get back up. They've got time to pop the med kits. All right, why don't we hear what Chicken Sandwich have got to say after that reset?
Defense is down behind you, actually. Defense is down behind you.
I have.
You're going to gen on me. We're safe here. We're safe here
I
on me.
won't have gen. I won't have gen.
Fuck. Okay, we just need to look behind us. This team on roof is just gonna jump down on the left. There might be a threat to us, but we just need to look at this. Need to look at that.
Yeah. One team's arc-ulting, one team's here.
The team underneath is jumping down as well.
There's 2 teams.
Yeah. They're all going like on top of each other. I have head glitches on me. Yeah, I'm looking.
Seal's almost cracked.
Nice. They're signing to us. One's one. Fuck one. One's in front.
Yeah.
On the right. Come back.
On me. On gen. All dead.
Nice. Swing it my right.
Left.
Flash. Fight. Behind you.
Well, what an absolute mess that was for Chicken Sandwich. You could hear the panic in the voice as they saw that team swinging on the right. Full team was the call, and unfortunately that full team was able to get the better of them. Exo finding another in the spot of a bother. That is a very nice R301 clip coming through. Northside Esport is eliminated. Exo going to get a half second to reset here. A couple of armor swaps is going to do them a world of good. I want to draw your attention though to Ath sitting in the only cover in this circle, sitting inside that caravan. Watson fences everywhere, and guess what? Rampart walls as well.
Else the amped cover. Who knows? Maybe Sheila can make a return here and do one better than she did over on Storm Point. 5 squads still left alive on this. Ant as a duo were kind of looking over the back of EXO as they took that fight, but unfortunately didn't want to push it. Only the 2. Thought it might be a little bit tough. Golden Sage are actually going to go in now with the ult. Once they use that, they're going to see it's only a duo, and they're going to press the issue. It should be an easy clean up for them. And boom, we're down to 4. On the bottom of this, Boogie Borders are looking like they're in a fantastic spot. Elfish, they're the ones in the fat of the land.
Yeah, Exo Clan really doing it tough, fighting their way hard through all of these engagements. But I gotta say, they're winning a lot of them as well. The leader is Philippos. 5 his name. Red shields across the board for Exo as well. And 7 bats in the back pocket for Philippos as well. They have the resources to win this game. They're going to have to go past Ath next, and that is them sitting inside of that caravan. I got to say, it's like some kind of scuffed Apex Legends version of Pimp My Ride, because they really have pimped that out, even though it doesn't really drive. It is an absolute unit of a vehicle at the moment. And Exo, unfortunately, now topping the brunt of that engagement. Jubjabib does get the knock on Ziki. Rez, is it available here? Can they get it done onto Ziki? Maybe not, especially with Boogie Borders causing a bit of a problem as well.
Well, they decide to circumvent it. Boogie Borders go on top and try and fire down upon the other 2 teams. It's just at Boogie Borders and then EXO trying to stay alive on the outside of this. But you can see Boogie Borders just getting so many angles. How are they going to push inside, though, if they can deal with EXO finally, which I feel like they will soon? What are they going to do about Ath?
Well, they don't actually have to push inside. They can wait and play the outside of this vehicle, because inevitably at a certain point, Ath is going to have to push out. The circle is moving. That is not a central position. That caravan is not going to be a viable cover for Ath. They're going to push their way out, though. They had to. They decided, let's pull it right here, right now, and they've won! They have done it. They have finally pulled it off with the rampart.
It's all he wanted. It's all he wanted was one better and a celebratory Sheila spray to finish us off.